Number 25. SCP. SCP, or Secure, Contain, Protect, is an organisation that seeks to secure and contain anomalous subjects which can be classified as safe, Euclid, or Keter, depending on the level of threat that they pose. The object of this game is to observe and monitor a renegade man-sized doll called SCP-870, as failure to do so might kill you. Number 24. Sanitarium. In this horror adventure game, the player acts like an amnesiac patient who has just arrived at a mental asylum. He's trying to figure out what is going on after getting involved in a car crash. If you dare to enter in this game's twisted world, be prepared to encounter your unknown psyche filled with deformed children and ghosts from your past. Number 23. Scratches. This adventure horror game takes on a persona of a mystery author seeking seclusion to work on his next book. Unfortunate for the author, the house he's chosen contains a secret past that will frighten any sense of you may think out of you. Number 23. Dead Space. This monster fighting game is set in USG Ishimura, with half the ship in disrepair and the other half filled with savouring monsters. Considered as one of the scariest games today, it was also dubbed as the master of jump scare. Warning, this game is not for the faint of heart, or any heart for that matter. Number 21. Silent Hill. Silent Hill is a horror video game that has a clever way of keeping players on edge. To play this game, the player is forced to go out into the street with just 2 bullets in his gun. All the while, the sound of flying monsters grows louder or quiets down as he walks along the deserted street. Number 20. Obscure. Obscure focuses on a group of 5 high school seniors who stumble upon a laboratory where biological experiments are being performed. In this game, students must fight their way out in order to warn the other students about the monsters lying ahead. Number 19. I Have No Mouth, and I Must Scream. The player controls the last 5 survivors left on the Earth after a supercomputer called AM-109 killed off the human race in the final war. The aim of this computer is to torture them forever. Number 18. Slender. This game pits you against the ever-watching, ever-stalking, and ever-so-freaking scary Slenderman, who is itching to kill you while you attempt to run away. If you dare to pick up this game, I suggest you buy a set of new undergarments. Trust me, you'll need them. Number 17. Siren. Unlike most horror games out there, Siren emphasises stealth. In other words, the player has to survive by hiding rather than fighting. How do you survive if you can't fight? Find out if you dare. Number 16. Rule of Rose. A psychological horror game, Rule of Rose does not involve any supernatural elements like others on this list. Rather, it features horrible kids who are psychotically horrible to one another and to you. This game draws influence from the cruelty of the characters found in the fairy tales of Brothers Grimm. Number 15. Condemned, Criminal Origins. Condemned Criminal Origins is a detective story that involves elements of horror and brawler mechanics. The player plays Ethan Thomas, an agent tasked with investigating the lower rung of society while searching for a serial killer. Number 14. Fear. Fear features lots of nightmare moments via psychic little girls with long dark hair covering their faces. The main character is constantly unnerved and is vulnerable to having his mind all muddled up. Fear features both super soldier horror and fast-paced action. Number 13. Haunting Ground. Haunting Ground revolves around a girl called Fiona, the main character who wakes up in a cage following a car accident. She finds an ally in the form of a dog named Huey, but this dog only follows commands if he is treated well. The object of this game is to avoid pursuers and survive the scary night as enemies relentlessly hunt you down. Number 12. Silent Hill 4. The Room. Of all the Silent Hill entries, this horror game is the only one where the player is locked in his room in an apartment building. This room serves as his hub and safe haven through the game, as he travels through different supernatural locations filled with ghosts and monsters. Number 11. Penumbra Overture. This video game is filled with an atmosphere of horror that is heightened by music, sounds, and environments whose sole purpose is to drive your fear factor insane. It would not be totally surprising if by the end of this game you find yourself jumping at empty dark corners and flickering lights. Number 10. Resident Evil 2. Thanks to the T-virus that has successfully transformed the citizens of Raccoon City into something straight out of the Walking Dead series, you will encounter zombies everywhere, from parasitic-looking humanoids to freaky undead dogs. This game has more than enough to freak the skin out of you. Number 9. Seventh Guest. In this twisted game, the player plays the role of an amnesiac who has to figure out what happens to the six guests invited to a crazy mansion owned by a mysterious toy maker. Number 8. Clock Tower. A point-and-click game set in Norway, Clock Tower features a young girl named Jennifer Simpson, who finds herself adopted by a wealthy recluse named Mr. Barrows. He lives in a mansion called Clock Tower, where every adopted girl disappears at night. The player plays the role of Jennifer, and the object of this game is to find out what happened to the other guests. Number 7. Alone in the Dark. Taking the role of private investigator named Edward Carby, you are given the task to uncover the mystery of a powerful stone that contained none Lucifer himself. Of course, your quest involves the ultimate and ghastly demise of the demon-possessed corpse who are about to get you. Number 6. Call of Cthulhu. Based on H.P. Lovecraft, The Shadow of Innsmouth, this game is a survival horror game where the player takes on the role of a man who has just been released from a mental institution. Number 5. System Shock 2. With flickering lights and blood all over the ship as its backdrop, System Shock 2 features Shodan, a perfect intellect whose sole mission was to make our lives easier. Instead, Shodan now seeks to utterly destroy you. Number 4. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Spanning centuries and a dozen different playable characters, this game is the grandest of all Lovecraft-inspired horror game videos. The setting and conflict are both terrifying and push the sanity meter of any player to its utmost limit. Number 3. Silent Hill 2. This game delves into the psyche of Giles Sunderland, a man who does not look at the same world as everybody else does. The object of this game is to find out who is the real enemy, the town, the player, or the character himself. Number 2. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. Fatal Frame 2 involves two little girls who live in a haunted village and are being threatened by supernatural forces. The player plays the role of one of the innocent girls who is armed with a small camera which can only be used in close proximity. And finally, number 1. Amnesia, The Dark Descent. As a player of this game, you assume the role of a man with amnesia who lives in a castle and has to remember something for a certain reason. The castle is filled with monsters, but unlike other games where the character has to fight the enemies, the only option that the player has is to stay and hide in the dark. Hey there, thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, please click the like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And for more lists, 25 stuff, please ask what I should do next in the comment below. Goodbye, and thanks to List 25 for the pictures.